Hi, this is Deepak Grover.
Hi, this is Arnav Padil.
Hi, this is Marwan Azim.
Hi, this is Prithvi Naresh.
Hi, I'm Gaurav Shahare.
Hello, this is Lakshman Prajapati.
Hello, I'm Julam Jim.
Hey, Manoj here.
Hi, I'm Jamil Doshi. Hi, this is Team Gaia, and me, Prithvi, and Lakshman, we came together to create a team for this nationwide competition called Solar Decathlon, which is a cooling retrofit solution competition in which we had to create a solution for existing households to give them an alternate solution to cooling. The problem was that right now in India, there are many cities, many places where there's lack of any cooling devices. They lack in air conditioners, they lack in even normal fans, which actually is it's a very big problem for them to sustain in such kind of high heat conditions. So that's where we came to actually solve the problem by creating a modular solution for a cooling solution for them, which shouldn't be very expensive that they can't afford it, and which shouldn't have a lot of energy consumption. So it should be efficient enough to give a good amount of cooling at a lower cost. And that's when we came about creating a solution, TerraTrunk.
TerraTrunk, and TerraTrunk is a terracotta-based cooling device, and that's where the name come from, TerraTrunk. So the design is a basic design where we have kept it very simple. We have divided the whole trunk or the whole pot into two divisions. One part has beads hanged into it, and there's a continuous water flow over the surface. The cooling works in three simple steps. There's a top inlet for the air, hot air. So hot air goes inside, and then there's a cooling happening with the beads and the wet surface of the terracotta. And the third step where it comes out from there's a fan on the outlet which pulls the air out. So through this design, we are not fighting against the climate. Through our machines, we are trying to work with climate towards a sustainable environment.
The technical design part, first of all, we chose to not have any electronics at all because terracotta is supposed to cool without any electronics. And then we saw that it's not providing enough performance. We had two fans in the input and output. Then we introduced the humidity sensors so we can test out the temperature difference of different iterations we did. Then we also have a motor which regulates the water around the terracotta to get the maximum surface area of water and humidity. That's how the terracotta works. And then we added in some actuators, the humidity actuators by the end of the product for providing more humid cooling effect as well.
In the era of AI, this isn't a fancy AI product, but more of a sustainable product where we have an automated water cutting system. After a certain humidity threshold, it will automatically cut the water supply, and that's how we maintain the humidity around it, so the temperature in the room where you are using will be nice enough and cool product.
And why we are calling as a sustainable product? Because just only the electronic part is not sustainable. But if we see the entire material, so we use a terracotta pot that is like totally sustainable, as well as the sheet that we have used, that is a cellulose paper that is made with the plant fiber, that is totally sustainable. So this product is like, it's very less carbon footprint that is creating. And in future, like it works only on the 12 volts of electricity. That is, if we compare to the normal fan, it's very less compared to others. So that's why it's like more sustainable compared to the other fans, we can say.
Yeah, so they talked about all the cooling solutions and how we put temperature sensors in the input and output. And we got like a temperature drop. We got around 2 degrees or 3 degrees. And the first time we saw that drop, we were like super ecstatic, like, damn, this actually works. We had it only in theory, but then we saw that 2-3 degree drop. I'm like, damn, oh my God, we've cracked the product. That's the feeling we got. But the excitement didn't last that long because after 1 month of trying, it was still at 2 to 3 degrees. And then we were like breaking our heads and seeing how to increase this temperature drop even more. And then we were like, we had an industry partner called Ambiator. And I was talking to him continuously and seeing how to increase it, or like what are the things we can add to this product. And then I realized that we had to be with them because like nothing could happen completely online. So I actually went to Hyderabad, I visited their factory, and they showed us their whole patented technology. And it's really interesting that they have evaporative cooling technology, and they have a patented technology to go below the wet bulb temperature. So that's the temperature that's the coldest any evaporative cooler can get, but they're able to touch temperatures below that itself. So that was fascinating to me. And they did that with the simple thing of the cellulose paper, and this is just to increase the rate of evaporation. And we utilized this in our product, and then we also utilized a water supply system very well. But how does this work is basically on the concept of evaporation, and even the terracotta works on evaporation. So when water evaporates, like how in sweat when it evaporates, it removes the heat energy from your hand. And similarly here, the pot is really porous, and the water from inside actually goes outside and then evaporates to the environment, which cools the system completely down for 4 to 5 degrees. So when you pass air through this, it becomes really cold. But this increases the, rate of evaporation so high that we are able to get around 5 degrees, 4 to 5 degrees after that. But we still weren't able to get the range. So we were kind of playing around with the fan systems. And it was really exciting to actually have that process and understand that it's not all fun and games, and it's not that very smooth, linear process of like design thinking, right? And it's a lot of failure, testing, iterations. And then once you get that click, that feeling is awesome, that when that degree goes 1 extra degree, that's awesome. So,
At this stage, we got the tech down, we got the design down. But the big thing is, would people ever buy our product, or could we actually imagine taking it beyond just an idea and maybe potentially selling it? So that was where I think a lot of our minds got a little fumbled, and we had to realize that we had needed a better understanding of the market. So that's where kind of the business lens came in, and that's where I did like a little research and found out that if we look at the market, like 29,000 crore market in India just for air conditioning, how do we make sure that we're narrowing it down to a segment that's really relevant? And so that took us a lot of time. And another thing is that we don't have any direct competitors, you could say. Like, of course, there's air conditioning, there's air coolers, but we kind of fall under a very niche segment where we're trying to make something that's very retrofit, that's very sustainable. So we don't have anything to kind of pitch ourselves against. So that was another hard thing, because we didn't have very similar players in the market. So that's where we kind of had to play out in terms of our go-to-market strategy, like where we wanted to roll out, who we wanted to kind of establish partnerships with. And that gave us a lot of opportunity to speak to a lot of like-minded people and research a lot more and find out, like mentioned before, about specific the fiber or cellulose mesh. And that's kind of where a lot of roots came to kind of make our product better, which isn't the intent with which we went with. We just wanted to figure out how to sell it, but through that race, we kind of figured out how to make another iteration or how to make it a little better. There was also a lot of time spent on figuring out how to cut our costs, because even if our product is really good, even if it's sustainable, even if it is retrofit, it is unfamiliar as well. So we did a little bit of pitching, we took it to people, we did focus groups, we tried to see how they reacted to it, how much they'd be willing to buy it, and if we could pitch ourselves at a similar price, because we could make a really good product, but if it's more expensive than an air cooler, then it's kind of out of the market. So that took a lot of time, and we understood that it's not just enough to make the product, we have to make it in line with who we want to sell it to. And when we finally did take it to the competition, it received very good feedback in terms of our financial projections, and we also got different insights, which was interesting to see, that we should try to pitch it towards higher income groups, or try to make it as a design statement rather than just an air cooling product. So that was really interesting, and we're still working on it. We're trying to enter new markets as well. But yeah, that was kind of our journey through the business lens. So we were really hard on ourselves also, like all of us, in terms of design. I've personally seen Lakshman be like, no, this isn't going to work. Tech stuff, people testing, they were like, no, it's only a 5-degree drop. That's not enough. But after going and kind of getting validated from several people, like the judges, the evaluators, there are different teams, people from universities that we kind of look up to as well. That was really good. We finally felt like, okay, this is something that is meaningful. It's more than just a product.
We were really hard on ourselves. We had very high hopes from the product, from ourselves. And that meant a lot of discussion, a lot of fighting amongst ourselves. I remember a day prior to leaving for the presentation to Mysore, we thought of changing the entire design. Our engineering team sat down and thought of putting a radiator inside the product itself, because we were thinking it's just 5-degree drop. Why we want it more? Why is it just 5 degrees? So we thought of changing the entire design, and it was a lot of fight. People were saying, no, let's just stick to our process. Let's just stick to what we have built. Finally, we decided to stick to the process, trust our own thinking that we have, trust our own process that we have built till now, trust our product, and then we went to the final presentation. And after presentation, after getting the validation from the judges, we felt really good about what we have done. We have built a great product, a good product, but what we have actually built is an amazing team here. And that was a really good feedback from the judges also, that yes, you have built a quite an impressive product, but what you're winning this competition, not because of just the product, but because of the team that you have built here. And products can change. If we have the team, we can build many more products in the future. But this is the team that has built one insanely good product, and I think this team is capable of building many more such products. So we are really proud of ourselves.
Talking about the exposure and like all the winning moments, whatever we have done till now, we got the presentation done. Now we were a bit sure that we can win, so we were like we can win. Like the presentation was good, so everything went well. So we were chilling. Now we thought of like, let's plan something, let's roam around the campus. So the whole campus was like following the sustainability approach. So everyone in our team was like in the night roaming around after dinner, like in cycles. We are going here and there, we are planning something, we are like discussing what if we win this and what we will be doing after winning. So we will be going to college, we will be doing party and all that stuff. So it was very, very good. And the day they announced the results on the podium, so they said that when they were announcing that, so they said one thing. So one personalized cooling. So Gaurav was one of them who was like started shouting, "We won, we won!" Then they said that yes, Team Gaia won. So everyone was like hugging each other. We were shouting and all that stuff. So we went to the podium. So that was a very, very good moment for all of the team, like all of the team members.
So after that competition, actually, we did participate again in the ISS 2025. That was also the national level competition. And there actually somewhat we fixed our idea in their problem statement. So there was problem statement was something that we have to build something for the sustainability. We thought we are like very dedicated for this product. We wanted to take in the market. And when we was presenting this bigger device in that Mysore campus, we got many people who were saying it's so expensive. Do we have the smaller version of that for the individual person? Can we make it portable, more lightweight, more handy? Then the same problem statement we found it in this competition also. And we thought, why we not make our TerraTrunk much more smaller than this? Then we went to again Potty Town to see the different devices, some different materials, some different shapes of the clay pots. And we found this wine glass. So we call as a wine glass they generally use. So we found it very interesting. It looks very aesthetic. So we thought, okay, let's play around it. We tried to copy exact same structure while dividing the one pot into sections and input and output. But that was not working well because of it has a very small space, and we can't make it more modular. So that's why we changed the entire system over here. So literally from the fan. So initially we was using the Excel fan. We use the centrifugal fan. That is much more efficient to pull the air and push it down. And we thought this small device can maximize give like around 1 or 2 degree temperature drop. Yeah. But literally we got 5 degrees Celsius drop in the air temperature. It was so insane. In like we got chance, like we worked around like around how much? Around 1 month of time. Yeah. And from that last 2 weeks we did this product.
Actually, can't believe it, in 1 month we built one full product. Like literally, this is a full product in 1 month, and that was like one of the best experiences.
And actually to validate this time, we not just ask the people like what they feel or what they think about this idea. We actually asked them to pay for this. Means we actually sold our idea, not a product. Yeah. We was telling them, if you want to register now, it's a what you can say? the
Yeah, so one of our
pre-booking.
mentors talked about red herrings, wherein like people would say that they're interested, but they wouldn't really be willing to pay if it was a product. So to test that theory, we actually asked for a booking amount that if you pay 100 rupees, you can book it for like a future date when it comes out. And then people actually, we got 5 people to pay in like a span of 1 hour. And that first customer, I was talking to that lady, she was kind of interested. But her husband came and then he pulled her away, saying that no, you're not getting this. And then they went off. The exciting part is he actually turned and came back saying that, oh, it was really interesting and I trust you guys because you are doing this with all your young age and all of that. And then she's like, here you go, I'm going to pay. Tell me when the product releases. And that was an awesome experience. So
Yeah, and the crazy part is we sold a cooling device in the snow city. That was the crazy part. And with this product, we won that competition called ISS 2025. And with that winning, we got chance to go Singapore and be a part of the global hackathon where we got chance to work with the international students, and that was a very amazing experience that we got it. And definitely you wanna watch the YouTube video for sure because we already made.
Is, after that, we wanted to use the same concept because we got validated and so many people put so much effort and built it. So we wanted to do it, and we fit that somehow into this problem statement. And we were like, what if we fit this into the Singapore problem statement also? And then we literally took this in the flight to Singapore.
Yes.
If you believe it or not, we had this the whole time in Singapore. But then there we realized that, okay, fine. It's 6 international teammates. We have to convince them. They have to convince us. It was a complete new experience. All of them are it's a youth leadership summit. So imagine 6 leaders from different parts of the globe. How do you decide who's leading the team? So that was a very interesting experience, I would say.
But yeah, there we learned how can we be take a one step back and be with the team. It's just not it's not okay to be a dominant every single time. And because of that one reason, I don't know how come, but I got the chance to lead that team, and somewhat we won that competition.
I had a lot of fun moments across the 9-month journey, but I think what I really enjoyed was watching all of you guys or all of the teammates really have those moments where it kind of came back to them. So I feel like I caught a lot of moments where it was I was kind of watching a movie or watching in on them, where they would be saying oh, this was really nice, or you would see a smile on their face, and it could kind of, it meant a lot to me because I kind of saw this going beyond just an idea or a product, and it kind of put us all together. So I really enjoyed that, and yeah, I'd have to say that was the highlight of my 9-month journey.
So the most exciting part for me was actually annoying these guys. Because I remember going, I kept calling them to come to work someday. And then they were not picking up. They stopped picking up my calls. I literally ended up in their house. And then I woke him up from bed to come work on this project. And then they were so pissed off and annoyed on me. But the best part is, in the end, when we won, right? Oh my God, there's bro, thank you for annoying me. That was a very funny and nice moment, which I felt.
The most fun time was when we was doing the ideation. So there was a time we initially started ideating, and everyone used to come with some 10 ideas. And the ideas was very interesting. Can you imagine the sweaty walls? That was the idea from one of our team member. That will actually put the pipe around the room and the water will drop on the walls and it will get cool. So that was the ideas that we came across, and finally we got this crazy idea after listening that very stupid ideas.
Well, I would say not funny, but a stressful moment where on the day of presentation, we were working around it. We were painting the fan and we were trying to figure out whether it will work or not, because on the day, the LED screen stopped working. So that was very not funny, but a stressful moment for me and for us, I believe.
One of the funny moment we had is the first time when we tried the actuator, humidity actuator, when we dipped the water in the stick and we put it in the actuator and the humidity air come. That was kind of fun.
One of the moments which stood for me was when we came up with this design, and I couldn't just resist making it, and I stood up whole night and I made the whole model in one night. I was I have to finish this. I can't just sleep without designing it or without completing it. So that was in my head, and I just couldn't sleep without designing it. So that was one of our fun moments for me.
The most fun moment for me was when we all get together in a room in which we keep on deciding how do we move forward to actually bring this into life. We all come up with multiple ideas, multiple methods of solving this, but we eventually just go back to whatever we started with, and then it just keeps on rotating the whole day. the whole time goes on thinking what to do, and then you're all just stuck and the time gets wasted. That was a fun but actually a required moment to go for, to bring into life. But yeah, that was the most fun moment for me.
So the fun moment for me and the very stressful moment for my teammates was that like 2 minutes before the presentation, we didn't had the printouts to showcase to our judges. So me and my another teammate Shyam, so we were running to get the printouts from the printout shop. So we were running, getting that done. So we reached just 1 or 2 minutes before the actual presentation happening. So we came like superhero. Hey, we did this. So we got the papers. Now you guys can present. So that was a fun moment and stressful for them.
Since we had been working on the product for 9 long months, we jokingly call it our 9-month baby. And we had been working on so many deliverables, and we actually pushed through so many levels and advanced to the final stage, which is the final presentation. We arrived at the Mysore campus. We were nervous at first, seeing all those different colleges, different teams. We were competing against giants like IITs, BITS, and on the day of the final presentation, at the actual moment when we presented, the judges were really impressed with our work, and we felt really proud that all of this 9-month-long work came to a fruition, that our baby is finally walking on its own feet. We felt really proud.
In this product, they actually took our Instagram, LinkedIn, and they reached out to us after coming back also from Singapore, from the Mysore. So it was amazing. And most important part is like design part. I can't believe it that Lakshman pulled this entire design in one night. Actually, Lakshman, crazy work. Hands up on you.
Yeah, so here we have our solution, TerraTrunk.